Zach, after a decade of asking for a used EV tax credit, here in 2022, we finally got what we wanted, but it's not quite what we thought it would be. Have you heard the latest news about the qualifying requirements, the price caps, the income limits? What are your thoughts, Zach?
Honestly, this is not the first time I've waited a decade only to be disappointed when what I wanted actually arrived. Yeah, Justin, I've got a lot of qualms with what the federal government recently passed with these EV tax credits. On one hand, I'm excited. We've got tax credits for used vehicles. That's a huge win. I mean, we can incentivize the purchase of used EVs. Great. We've never had that before. On the other hand, probably my biggest frustration with this, it's for 10 years, and the price cap, you got to keep me honest here, is the price cap 25 or is it 250,000? Which one? 25,000 or 250,000?
Yeah, a used Hummer EV is not going to qualify in a few years. Sorry to dash your hopes, Zach, but it is $25,000. Now let me go over this real quick. So we've got up to $4,000. So technically, it's $4,000 or 30% of the car's price, whichever is less, and a qualifying price cap of $25,000. There are income limits too, and this is another aspect that's really eliminating this possibility for a lot of car buyers out there. Single filers, $75,000. Head of household, $112,000, and joint filers, $150,000. So there are some limits, some pretty strict limits, especially with that price cap for used electric vehicles. However, some do qualify.
Yes, some. Help enlighten us. Share the bright side of this with me, because I'm the one sitting over here thinking, okay, the average new transaction price for an EV last month was north of $66,000. I don't know if any of them will ever depreciate under $25,000 when there's all these shortages and whatnot. So I'm sitting here very much so questioning how viable the used EV tax credit is. But please show me the light. Let's do pros and cons. I want to hear it.
Yeah, I think we're going to start to see a theme. You're not going to get the fastest charging EVs with the best range for under 25,000, but still, it's going to be useful for someone out there, I hope. The Nissan Leaf. We've found through our market analysis that Nissan Leaf model years 2011 through 2018, you can find them for under $25,000, especially when you get back towards like 2015 model years. However, Zach, any guesses as to what the all-electric range is for a 2015 Nissan Leaf? It's not good.
40 miles?
84 miles.
I was close.
So it's good for around town, but you got to keep in mind a lot of these older EVs have had some battery degradation. So you've also got to think about the fact that you might have lost 10, maybe even 15% of that. It's good for around town, but not for a road trip. If you're able to find a 2018 Nissan Leaf for under 25,000, you could get 150 miles on a charge. That's not bad, but charging is slow. Okay, so don't expect to be an avid road tripper if it's going to take 80% to gain like 80 miles of range. 45 minutes to gain like 80% of your range. It's pretty slow. I wouldn't recommend it if you road trip a lot. But should we continue on through the list?
Yeah, please. Up from here, yeah?
Somewhat. Yes, we'll say yes, because the range gets a lot better with the Chevy Bolt.
Okay.
We know that the Bolt has had a storied past, but as long as the Bolt that you might be shopping for has had its recall fixed and has received a brand new battery pack, everything should be okay, right? At least according to the engineers over at GM. 2017 through 2019 Chevy Bolts can be found for around $25,000. They don't get much cheaper than that, so you'd have to really look for a bargain to fall underneath the price cap. Range, 238 miles. Max charging speed, 55 kilowatts. So once again, you're going to be looking at about an hour to gain 200 miles of range. And then the rest of the list, it's a mixed bag scenario, Zach. So I'm going to go through it a little bit quicker. Chevy Spark. I bet you didn't even know there was an electric Chevy Spark. Am I wrong?
Correct.
Yeah. So 2017 model, you could get it with about 82 miles of range. It's slow charging. What about the BMW i3?
Oh.
You can find some, yeah, it's a funky little car. You can find 2014 through 2017 model year i3s for about $25,000. It's also pretty slow charging. You're going to be looking at gaining about 100 miles of range in 30 minutes. But Range depends on the trim that you select and the model year. It's anywhere from 80 miles, which is pathetic, to up to 188 miles for more recent model years. Now, here's where the list starts to get a little bit better, in my opinion. Hyundai Kona Electric.
Yep.
This is right on the border. You'd be looking for a higher mileage 2019 Kona Electric because you need to stay underneath that $25,000 price cap. Range, solid. It's 258 miles. Charging speed, it's a tad bit better, 75 kilowatt max, which means you're going to be adding about 200 miles of range in 45 to 50 minutes. It's not ideal, nothing like my Ioniq 5, but it's under $25,000. And then its sibling, the Niro Electric from Kia, is also, it's within the realm of possibilities for 25 grand. The Kia Soul Electric, that's another one. I don't ever see those in my side of the country. Those are more popular in California and along the coast.
Yep.
But yeah, Zach, what are you thinking so far? Because I've got a few surprises up my sleeve on this list.
You're making me cautiously optimistic. I think people will benefit from it. There are obviously options. I have a couple questions for you. Let's get through the list, but I have a couple questions that are going through my mind. Like, how do we actually determine if the vehicle's value is under the price cutoff? Like, is that the advertised price, the selling price? Also, does this apply for plug-in hybrids? Like, that's another question going through my mind.
Thinking about getting an extended warranty? Go to joinyaa.com and check out our pricing there. There's no obligation, no spam, no robocalls. YAA for your extended warranty.
A few more cars on the list. The Fiat 500e.
Yep.
I remember when I was in high school seeing Fiat cars making their way into America, and I was like, wow, these are some interesting looking cute little cars. Well, it turns out you can buy an all-electric Fiat 500e model year 2015 through 2019. Gets only 84 miles of range. Charges pretty slow, but you can find them for under 25 grand. It is what it is. I mean, it'd be good for around town. And the last one on my list. Zach, I got a quiz for you. What is Volkswagen's very first electric vehicle?
The Phaeton.
It is the e-Golf.
Aww.
Yeah, another one of those like California market cars meant to meet emissions requirements.
Sure.
In 2016, Volkswagen brought us the e-Golf. It has a range of 83 miles. Charges pathetically slow. I'm talking like 7 kilowatts.
Wait a second.
Like, don't even go to a fast charger. You can go to a level 2 charger, but
Wow.
don't even go to a fast charger because you'd be just taking up space. But, I mean, you can find them pretty affordably. All of the vehicles on this list can be found, at least with some bargaining, for around $25,000 or less, but none of them would be good road trippers, except maybe if you could find a Kia Niro Electric, Hyundai Kona Electric, maybe an i3. Otherwise, you don't really want to think about road tripping in these.
So let's hit on the price. How do we actually determine if a vehicle qualifies for this? We talked a little bit about the adjusted gross income requirements at the beginning. Who determines if this qualifies? It's $25,000, but what's the price? And that's already a big question when you buy a car.
And also, what's the catch? What's the catch, right? Well, the first catch is that it's $25,000 price cap, but here's the other gotcha. It has to be sold by a dealer, and this is based on the selling price.
Wow.
Okay. So, yeah, selling
so no
price sold by a dealer.
No peer-to-peer transactions.
No, which is sad. Yeah, that's sad. That's built into the law. It says specifically must be sold by a qualified dealer who's a part of this whole IRS network that they're setting up to allow for the transfer of credit. Because beginning in 2024, some good news, this can be applied at the point of sale. That's good.
That's
right?
awesome.
$4,000 point of sale, but that's not going to happen for 15 months, at least as of the time of this recording.
Okay, super interesting. And then what about plug-in hybrids? Do they qualify for this as well?
They do, if you can find one under 25,000. I'm going to run through the list even more quickly this time because there's several that Mario from the YAA Community Forum, Mario, one of our auto experts, he did the research. Justice helped him out, and together we found a list of which plug-in hybrids could be found for about $25,000 or less. Here we go. The 2016 through 2018 Audi A3 e-tron plug-in hybrid. 2014 through 2017 BMW i3. I'm just going to skip the model years, okay?
Yep.
They're the older ones.
Yep.
Chevy Volt. Ford C-Max Energy. Ford Fusion Energy. Honda Clarity. Hyundai Ioniq, the original Ioniq plug-in hybrid. Hyundai Sonata, Kia Optima, Mitsubishi Outlander, and Toyota Prius Prime if you go way back to like 2017. Now, Zach, one thing I got to mention, so many details here, right?
Uh-huh.
The used EV credit and used plug-in hybrid credit, it does not have the same requirements for battery sourcing that the new EV credit does. So that means where it's made, oh yeah, that doesn't apply either. So we don't care where it's produced. We don't care where the batteries are sourced from. It's all about the price cap, $25,000.
I bet you we start to see a lot more, not anytime soon, but in the near future. That is our new jumping off point. Like as many EVs and plug-in hybrids as we can get at $24,999 with all the taxes, fees, and all that fun stuff. That's going to ultimately be the sweet spot where dealers start to price vehicles. This is pretty interesting stuff. I do think eventually there will be some efficacy here, but as we've seen used car prices last year increase so much and new car prices for EVs and plug-in hybrids go up so much, it's definitely going to take a little while for other vehicles to make it into the fold. I mean, the list you have is fantastic and a great resource, but I wonder how quickly we'll find that folks are able to actually leverage this new $4,000 incentive.
Yeah, it's going to largely depend on how the overall market performs, right? How we see prices go. Are we going to continue to see a trend upwards in the new car market? Are we going to see a trend downwards in the used car market? All of those dynamics are going to really determine if electric vehicles and plug-in hybrids are going to go anywhere near $25,000 in the future. I'd love to see a RAV4 Prime for $25,000.
My fingers,
Maybe that's
man.
going to happen someday.
I think I've got a better chance winning the lottery than that happening, but let's see. I hope this video ages well, but I could be very wrong, and even then I would be super happy.
Yeah, and if you guys, the viewers out there, are able to take advantage of this new incentive when it takes effect on January 1st, 2023, let us know in the comments what EV or plug-in hybrid did you find for under $25,000. We'd love to hear from you.
Well done, Justin. Great research. Thank you, sir.